Our Around the World segment tonight, could there finally be a peace between Israel and the Palestinians? This week, President Trump welcomed Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to the White House. Trump vowed to work as a mediator, arbitrator, or facilitator to help broker peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians. But realistically, is that possible? Take a look.
I'm committed to working with Israel and the Palestinians to reach an agreement. But any agreement cannot be imposed by the United States or by any other nation. The Palestinians and Israelis must work together to reach an agreement that allows both peoples to live, worship, and thrive and prosper in peace. And I will do whatever is necessary to facilitate the agreement, to mediate, to arbitrate, anything they'd like to do. But I would love to be a mediator or an arbitrator or a facilitator, and we will get this done.
With me now, former IDF soldier and former NYPD officer, Mika Danzig. Mika, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
All right, I'm just going to cut right to the chase here. This kind of peace deal, is this possible?
Not with the current paradigm that we're under, which is the corrupt Palestinian Authority headed by Mahmoud Abbas, running the territories in Judea and Samaria for the Arabs that live there, and Hamas in control of Gaza. I mean, we're still operating under this, quote, two-state solution, which is no solution. It really isn't a two-state solution to begin with. We're already at the three-state solution because there's an Arab state called Jordan, which was part of the Palestine Mandate going back to 1920, that became a state that no Jews can live in. And then there became another Arab state in Gaza, effectively, under Hamas. And now the Palestinian Authority has control of large parts of Judea and Samaria, and they want that to be, with the rest of Judea and Samaria, to be another Palestinian state. And they also want that that Arab state to be completely free of Jews. So they essentially want three Arab states in what was the Palestine Mandate to be Judenrein, no Jews allowed. And they also, because Abbas said this very clearly when he was promoting the Arab Peace Initiative when he met with Trump, they also want the state of Israel to be inundated with 5 million, quote, Arab refugees to live there too. So apparently every state that they want under this two-state solution, three-state solution, or four-state solution will either have no Jews or be inundated with Arabs who consider themselves refugees of the 1948 war.
I mean, it seems to me, and call me a cynic here, but it seems to me that this is too large of a gap to build a bridge over unless someone's fundamental ideology changed. By someone, I, of course, mean Mahmoud Abbas here. I mean, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, he said this a little bit more bluntly than even I say things. He said Abbas lied to Trump.
Abbas lied. It's unbelievable. It's like a bizarre world. He stands there in a press conference in front of the whole world, Mahmoud Abbas, and he says, first of all, he says the Palestinians are the only people in the world currently living under occupation. Well, tell that to the Tibetans, tell that to the Kurds, tell that to the Northern Cypriots. I mean, there are dozens of people in the world who are living under what they consider to be an occupation. That's first. Second, he laughably says that the Palestinian Authority is teaching its children and grandchildren for peace. It's teaching them to be peaceful. Again, how could he possibly say that? All anybody has to do is Google Palestinian Media Watch or go to memory.org.
You and I have talked about this 100 times. It seemed like a period of time. We had a segment almost every week that was talking about some Palestinian Authority funded program aimed at children, school children, kindergartners even, that was praising people who killed Israelis, that was teaching little children how to kill Israelis, that was saying, oh, it's so funny, we will drink Israeli blood. I mean, absolutely disgusting. And that's the part I guess I was disappointed in this meeting, is it didn't, at least publicly, it wasn't brought up that the Palestinian Authority straight up funds terrorism.
I mean, it's amazing to me that given the speech that Trump gave at AIPAC before the election, where he acknowledged how the Palestinian Authority teaches the most vile anti-Semitic Jew hater to its people. It makes it very clear to its citizens that the greatest thing you can do is to kill a Jew. That Mahmoud Abbas himself has said many times things like that the Jews' vile feet should not be anywhere near Jerusalem. Things of that nature. That Trump didn't laugh out loud when Mahmoud Abbas said that they teach their children for peace. And not only that, one of the few things that Trump did, say during this meeting that he had with Abbas is that the Palestinian Authority has to deal with the fact that it's paying terrorists' salaries. It's paying the families of terrorists. And the very day they had the meeting, the senior foreign policy advisor to Mahmoud Abbas, who works for the Palestinian Authority and for the Fatah party, said that it would be insane, it would be madness for the Palestinian Authority to stop paying the salaries and to stop paying rewards to the families of people who kill Jews. The more Jews you kill, the more money you make under the Palestinian Authority.
I mean, right now, under the Palestinian Authority, there are schools for children named after Palestinian terrorists who have killed Israeli people. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know, I mean, that kind of, I can't even create a word that describes the atrocity, the horror of that. If you don't leave that kind of atrocity, that kind of mindset, that kind of ideology at the door, then you are not, it is not appropriate for you to be sitting at the negotiation table. There is no deal that can be made if you carry that ideology with you. Mika, one last quote, I guess, from Mahmoud Abbas. He says his people want a Palestinian state with the capital of East Jerusalem and borders along the pre-1967 lines. Why is he even coming to the table with demands like this?
Well, again, this entire land for peace paradigm, the two-state solution, however you want to call it, has always been about Israel making concessions, Israel making itself weaker, and on the hope that the Arabs will give Israel peace. And the notion that Israel would ever, with a regime that has been committed to nothing but the slaughter of Jews and says that not a single Jew can live anywhere in this new Palestinian state that they want to create, would allow itself to go back to the 1949 armistice lines, where Israel is 9 miles wide at its narrowest point, where the Palestinians control all the high ground in Judea and Samaria, is absurd. Again, this is a regime that just said that it not making payments to the terrorists, people who stab and kill Jews, people who blow up school buses, people who blow up cafes, that would be the equivalent of Israel not paying its soldiers. So on the one hand, they want to deny that they have anything to do with the terrorism, but on the other hand, they equate the same terrorists who stab people on buses, who blow up school children with the soldiers of a real country's army.
Right, or like we just saw, you and I just talked about this last month, you know, ram people with trucks, ram soldiers, IDF soldiers with their cars, run them down, kill them by any means necessary. Mika, we're out of time. I mean, this conversation could go on forever. I would just say one thing before we close out here. And for, I guess, liberals who are saying that Israel's being unreasonable in this negotiation, I don't think it's unreasonable for Israel not to want to negotiate with someone who doesn't want them to exist. And until that is put off the table, I think they're being perfectly reasonable. Mika, thanks for being here. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.